What's up, guys? We have a very special broadcast. We've got Joey Mariano.
Hey.
Joe and Tell. How you doing, bud?
What's going on?
And of course, we got Done, Get Her Done, Jackson.
If you would have heard the kind of stuff we were talking about right before this started, and it got all professional all of a sudden. Like when you do the intro, you got all professional.
For a second, and then it just kind of we cut loose. So why do we have you here today, Joe? You got some exciting news. Obviously, we just came off of a CEDIA that was not canceled, but petered out because everybody dropped out of it because of COVID. And, these are tough times right now. And the trade shows they're in trouble. I think Rocky Mountain, or is it Rocky Mountain? That canceled?
Yeah.
They're gone for good, right?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Gone for good.
Gone for good. Yeah.
Yep.
So
that's what they said.
Industry trade shows are not in a good shape right now. And obviously we've been pushing stuff online to get the message out to people. I'm doing the virtual press events for companies. You kind of came up with a unique approach with the Hi-Fi Summit and what you were doing over the last year or so, trying to bring all these different companies together and bring people together and do contests and show product. But now you're kind of trying to take that up a notch. I don't really know much about it. You're being like really discreet mafia about it. So we're trying to get some info out of here without signing an NDA. So what the hell? Why don't we just do it as a live stream?
Well, I gotta keep it quiet, or else it's gonna be Audioholics AV press event. That's what's gonna happen.
True.
See, I know you. No,
go.
Real quick before we go, like, how come you start so late? It's like.
Dude, this is like the middle of the day for me.
You didn't get up till
it's the middle of. I know. I email you like super late at night, and I'm like, "There's no way he's gonna answer." It's like 3 a.m. and then you email back like, "Here's the."
I have a messed up schedule. I drive my daughter to her bus stop at 6:30 in the morning, come back, go to sleep, and so I have a late day.
Yeah.
Late day.
Well, you're talking about some of the shows that have been canceled and kind of the state of things. We actually started talking at the beginning of the pandemic.
Right.
You got sick, and I was like, "Hey, Gene, you okay, man? Everything?" Because at that time, like, you were the only person I knew that got sick, right? So it was kind of like is this guy gonna die? Like, you know what I mean?
I was with him when he got it, man. I was right with the dude he got it from, but I got tiger blood, as I'm just saying. Yeah, I had a tiger, dude. Yeah,
you probably gave it to him.
I didn't give him shit. I was bringing chicken soup over for him.
Don's body has had so many ailments that he's immune to everything now. The alcohol keeps it away.
The GD science.
He's probably the antidote. You just take some of his blood.
Like Arthur from what's that movie?
Arthur. Yeah.
Remember that?
Yep.
So I started talking to you around that time, and it was like cancellations of Axpona at that time too, right?
Yep.
People weren't getting refunds, and it was all crazy.
Audio show.
CEDIA canceled.
CEDIA too?
2 years in a row, we haven't had a real CEDIA.
Yeah. Which sucks, man, because CEDIA is where we got jiggy,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've never been. So anyway, we started talking around that time, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this thing. I'm just going to try it, and let's see what happens. So it's going to be our 4th event, actually. And so
I thought it was like I thought it was like a 3rd.
Yeah, fourth event. It's going to be our 4th event.
Well, so, you kind of pioneered that, didn't you? The virtual trade show, I
don't know about that. I mean, I just
you're an innovator, Joe.
Thank you. Truthfully, I've done this in the physical form. So I've put together physical trade shows in the past, and so this was kind of just like a natural progression. I did IT before.
That's a good comment.
TH. Yeah. So
that keeps you going,
burning something.
Yeah. So anyway, basically, I kind of had to do it. Like, I know how to do all this stuff. Why don't I just try it? Like, see what happens. So anyway, 4th event. You guys have been to these trade shows, right? So,
yep.
Don, you have what do you do? Like, you're like, what do you consider yourself? What's the name?
All right, so
or something like that?
I'm a high-end AD integrator automation. I design world-class systems and very high-end homes and also high-end commercial applications. And we hide things. We have to work with interior designers. So we also do 2-channel rooms and a lot of theaters. So it's kind of an interesting trade. We have to work with designers and the constraints. So I'm trying to kind of highlight many of the amazing products that are made for integration that aren't really compromises on sound. Like next week, we're going to have on Matt and I's live stream, we're going to have Noah, the president of Leon Speakers, who actually make $10,000-$12,000 sound bars that blow you away. I know it's a contradiction.
I hear you.
But yeah, we
so
do some cool
here's a
stuff.
question for you. Have you ever exhibited at CEDIA? Like, have you ever gone as an exhibitor, or are you always there as an attendee?
Exhibitor. Usually there as an integrator, going through the show, meeting with vendors. They take you in private meetings. You negotiate deals. You look at the new products that are coming out.
Well,
Never as an
that's
actual
exactly
vendor.
that's exactly what I was going to ask. Is like, what is your expectation going into one of these trade shows?
Well, we have product reps that have several brands under their belt. And what we do is we set up meetings. So we go there. You spend some time walking around because that's part of the fun. But then you have meetings set up. So you'll meet with the various vendors. They take you privately and they show you the products and how they can apply to the business that you're doing. So that's a big part of it. And also,
private
going out
demo.
to dinner. Yeah, and they have concerts. Like, man, I've had manufacturers have Kid Rock for private concerts with 2,000 people.
Blue Man Group, you remember Monster?
Oh yeah, but man, I mean, you name it, man. So it's a way, and it's also a way because I know people all over literally all over the world that do what I do. I've done it so long, and you get to see people, you get to see manufacturers, you get to see reps, other integrators. It's just a great positive thing for the industry.
So that's as an integrator, would you say the dealer kind of has a similar experience to like somebody who's going to go in like, I'm looking to carry some stuff?
Yeah, retail people go there. I mean, CD is for the custom installation industry, but it's also for the high-end retailers, which are kind of a dying breed, so to speak.
Yeah.
But yeah, most people go there. Influencers go there now because a lot of the really cool stuff's there. And
like
it's
Gene?
not,
Gene?
like Gene.
Are you an influencer now, Gene, or are you a media guy?
I used to be a publisher. I guess now I'm a blogger / influencer. It's all three.
Or you're a YouTuber.
I'm now, the editorial side is now old school media, whereas when I started the editorial site, print magazine was old school media. So pretty soon YouTube is going to be old school media. Something's going to replace it.
You Gene's going to be on TikTok.
So my daughter thinks it's pretty rad that I'm on YouTube.
I'm resisting that one.
My daughter says I'm an influencer, whatever that means. So
okay. So Gene, like, you'd go there as like, for press. What would be your expectation going into like one of these things? Like, what is the purpose?
I have multiple purposes. CEDIA was a huge show for me to expand my own business and to work with new manufacturers that I haven't worked with prior, because it's really hard to get a lot of these guys on the phone. But when you're there at a show face to face, pressing hands, talking audio, doing coverage, you have connections that you can't do without just doing cold calls. Primarily as a business person, as someone that wants to keep Audioholics going, my goal at CEDIA was to make new connections. But at the same time, I wanted to see new product, get demos, because it's hard to get demos of some of these products. And most of the demo rooms are pretty mediocre. You look for the 4 or 5 really good setups. Like, for example, Harman would do a room inside of a room. They'd have someone like Anthony Gramani come in, do calibrations in certain rooms. Those are the kind of demos you don't want to miss, because you're going to learn about emerging new technologies, and you're going to get to hear those new technologies firsthand. So you're not just writing up a press release in your coverage. You're actually giving people boots on the ground, real experience of what you saw at the show. Got it.
Now, they don't allow consumers in there?
They do.
They do?
If you're with the dealer, we would take certain clients there, high rollers, somebody that's in a big system. We'd get them into the show and show them. It was a cool experience. It kind of made them feel like they were part of something, but usually not.
Yeah. So like CES is all consumer. CEDIA is really custom integrator, dealers, distributors, press. So yeah, there are less consumers at CEDIA.
Got it. Now, do those rooms there, do they sound pretty good? Or because a lot of these other trade shows that I've been to to Expona, what is it? Rocky Mountain, show. Yeah. And then I've actually exhibited at all of them. Well, no,
that's right. Didn't you put together like really inexpensive systems or something in a room?
Just for fun. Fun. I wanted to see what it was like. And we had one room that sounded really good. Like, it actually the speaker sounded like better than it sounded at my place.
Yeah.
And then I had another room that sounded really bad. I took a mic, just to see what was happening, and there was like this huge dip. I didn't have, room treatment, things like that. So you just have to deal with it. It's just like, oh, it's got to suck out at 50 hertz. Too bad.
Move the seat.
Everybody thinks that the speakers don't have any bass.
It's hard
That's
to fill
all.
a hotel room up and make it sound good when you've got 8-foot tall speakers sometimes. I mean, that's the dilemma that you have to work with.
Right. So
the demos
there,
are
they,
the demos are a mixed bag because some of the demo rooms were acoustically controlled and they were properly calibrated, but then you go to other demo rooms where they goose the bass up 15-20 dB because they're trying to show off a new sub, or they set the levels way too high and you have to hold your ears the whole time. So if you see a room that has these giant horn speakers, you usually have to bring earplugs because they're going to turn it up to 140 dB.
Loud.
So I guess so. It sounded like what you're describing with Harman, that they created their room, right? Because it sounds like if you could, control all that, then it's a little bit different. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Then
definitely.
these hotel
Harman,
rooms, it's just like hallway. Like,
yeah, they're a joke. Harman actually
Didn't Harman actually create sound? Like
they created
years-
sound. They invented
thousands of
it.
years ago? I think they
I think
did.
so
Just ask them; they'll tell you.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean,
think
Harman
Floyd
took
Tool-
they put a lot of effort into their demo room. So I would say out of maybe 20 demos I would hear at CEDIA, maybe 3 or 4 of them would be something that engraved in your head because it was a good experience.
All right. Well, it's good to know. I've never been to Cedia, so
You would love
when I
it.
speak-
You would love because you're a social person. You would love to meet the people because you're dealing with a lot of people on the phone, So meeting
Yeah.
them face to face, it like level jumps you in your relationship with getting to know these people, and then they'll actually answer the phone for you after CEDIA. It's just a whole different world. Something like that you can't do as a cold call.
Got it. I got it. Yeah. Well, that's good to know. Just because my
Joe, have
reference
you ever
point
been
is-
to? You been to CES before?
Yeah, I went to CES
yeah?
2020,
Okay.
which was kind of crazy. You know what I mean? 2020, it was like super packed. Yeah, I've been there twice.
That's
But
cool.
yeah, that's a totally different experience. Than
Yeah, I
these
stopped
audio
going
shows.
to CES because it's not really focused on home theater. It's all gadgets and Microsoft.
Yeah, I made a video called "The State of Hi-Fi at CES," and so I went to the Venetian, went to all the
Yep.
rooms, and I'm like, oh man, this is sad.
But you know what? Back in the day at CES, they had Alexa Park. Don, you remember Alexa Park at CES,
Yeah.
right? You would actually take a bus over to Alexis Park or Alexa Park, whatever it was called, and it would have like these hotel strips of rooms.
Yeah.
And it would just be for 2-channel. So you would hear a lot of weird shit. I heard some guy playing a full range driver speaker with a wood cone playing. He was spinning Grace Jones records. Like I remember that because it was so painfully, horribly sounding. It was like an AM clock radio listening to Grace Jones, but I'll always remember that.
And then you went to the Sands Hotel right after for the AVN.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That was like the next thing. You go there and then AVN. I got you. So anyway, the whole reason I'm asking about all this is because what I'm trying to do is recreate that feeling.
Right.
When you go to a trade show, it's fun. It's fun. You're talking to people, you're interacting, trying to get the most out of that. Now, how do we do that online? So my next question would be, have you experienced anything even close to that online? So I went to, well, I didn't go. I went to the CES 2021, I guess, their online thing.
Mm-hmm.
Did you log into that?
No, I didn't even know that happened.
I didn't even know what was going on. I'm like, is anybody in here? I feel like I'm just watching a bunch of videos.
No, I mean, Vivid has some pretty cool online stuff, but
Vivid, yeah.
Never mind.
I know Exponent. I know Exponent.
They're nearby. That building was near where I used to live.
So I know Exponent tried to do an online thing, but they just don't have the audience on their YouTube channel to get enough people to interact. And that's the biggest struggle with a lot of these companies or even other magazines is they don't have the YouTube connection. They don't have the big audience.
Yeah.
And nobody's been able to pull off a trade show online that's entertaining, I would say. Yeah.
Well, let me kind of show you guys. Can I share something?
Yeah, put it up and I'll make you full screen.
All right, let's see here. Let me hold on a second.
Your video quality keeps going in and out, so I don't.
Oh, okay.
It's
yeah.
probably
better now.
StreamYard, dude. It varies.
Yeah. I wish they would up their quality a little bit, but they're
Let's
easy
see if I
use,
go to
so.
share screen, and then if I share a window, let's see, what should I share first? Maybe this. So, all right. So this is the Backstage. Like when people log in and they pay for a ticket, we make the seminars free. So anybody on YouTube can see the seminars as a dollar store Wi-Fi. Yeah,
That's why. There you go.
LA Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
You guys
yeah.
got that gig speed. So
Yeah, that's
what can you
Don
do?
Dunn. He came here and he set up a 1 gig network in my house. I don't
I don't have the option over here. So anyways, here's a little Backstage. So this is what happens like in that VIP area. We just got a bunch of people hanging out, chatting, talking about all kinds of different stuff.
So
right?
these
So you
are
can see-
attendees of the show.
Yeah, some attendees. Sometimes some people are shy. They don't put on their camera. Some people would prefer to chat, and so we have a chat area.
Right.
And then let's see what else we got going on here. You still seeing this? Okay, so
Yeah.
this is a talk we're speaking with Sonus Faber. So over here we have Josh from Macintosh, Livio. He's calling in from Italy, showing us all the stuff that they're doing. So it's kind of
Quick
cool.
comment for you, Joe.
Yeah.
Someone said they paid for a ticket, but they forgot to go. You need more reminders.
I need more reminders. All right. Well, that's partially why I charge. It's like I've done free ones and I've done paid ones, and we get more engagement when you pay because like you paid.
People don't value things that are free.
Yeah, you should watch. You paid. So
Yeah.
yeah, I can't do anything about that one. All right, so this one is we had Andrew Jones back here,
Yep.
and I was kind of the cool thing is I'm over here kind of like grilling him, asking him silly questions. Like I have this character where if I put on these sunglasses, I just say stupid stuff.
You're like the Asian Ray Charles, man. I love
Asian Ray Charles right there. So this is
it.
we call him Fresh Hater J. I just say all kinds of rude comments to Andrew Jones. You see, he doesn't even look like he's happy about it.
The R2D2 behind him. What the hell is that?
Yeah, that's those $80,000 speakers. Yeah.
Trim your eyebrows, R2.
So let's see what else we got going on here. And then afterwards we had a little after party. Look at this is Croson.
Willie Nelson.
He put his thing on. He dressed up a little bit.
So
we had Techno Dad spinning.
Remix.
This is Michael Patogo. He was showing off his Macintosh system. So we know all these guys, right? We start getting to know all these people, and because we're spending time. The event is 5 days, so if you keep logging on, you talk to these people, you get to know, about them. And he thanked me afterwards. Actually, he said, "Hey, you know what? I needed that because during COVID, everybody was like, stuck at home,
isolated."
And
so how many hours a day is this?
We were doing like I don't know, like this first one. I think we went crazy and did like 8 hours or something silly. But hey, I thought you guys would like this. This is Optimus Vader. He might be in here right now.
Yep.
Yeah, that's my boy, dude.
Good dude.
There's Optimus Vader, right?
He's
Boom! Look at him! Look at him!
Oh my God! He's got a Kylo Ren mask and a
Look at
lightsaber.
this guy.
Nice.
He's going crazy. So this is what does this
has
have to
Star
do with
Wars
audio?
underpants.
What does this have to do with audio?
Nothing.
We're having fun. That's
Everything.
it.
Right.
Everything, right? So John is playing music and this guy's dancing and we're having fun online, right?
Yeah.
Is this
that's
virtual?
funny.
Is it online? I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's fun. And so let's see. What else we got here? Oh, here's my kids. They're dancing. They got their lightsabers.
Dude, you got
See
the
what I mean?
cutest kids ever,
They're
by the way.
adorable.
Just so
Thank
they
you.
really are, dude.
Yeah,
Full of
so-
personality. Love
So
them.
he's over there doing his thing. My kids are so.
That's awesome.
And then let me show you this last thing is something we do. It's called show us your junk.
Right.
Basically,
Show us
Don't
your junk.
show us your junk. Yeah.
Did
Show
people
us-
bring mashed potatoes to that party? Or?
Yeah.
Make sure you pre-qualify that.
I know, right? So anyway, the point of this is for people to show off their systems, but don't even try to clean up. Don't try to make it all fancy. Just go into your room and show us
Yeah.
what's in your system, right? So
As
some of
long as
these
the police
peop-
don't see it. I mean, you're.
some of these people have some crazy systems.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy systems. You know what I mean? So that's it. That's some of the stuff that we do that's a little bit different.
It's killer.
Yeah. So
I dig
that's
it.
one of the things. It's like how do I say that? Like how do I advertise that? We just have fun. You're gonna go. You pay for our event, and we're gonna try to make it as fun
Dude,
as
I
possible.
think that's a great concept. I mean, because we really do need to lighten up, all of us. You know what I mean? That's awesome.
Yeah,
No,
that's,
especially
that's it.
Gene.
so if you buy a ticket, do you get a special login to that backstage pass or something like that, so you can log in and share your camera and your microphone? How does that work?
Yeah, so you're gonna get a special link, kind of like the one you sent me, Gene.
Mhm.
And instead of 3 people in here, you might have 50 people in there. You know, or whatever the limit for the room is. So I don't think we've reached the limit yet. We might have, but in any case, this time we're planning to have different rooms. So you might have a room that's for 2-channel audio, another room that's discussing home theater. Right. So if you want to pop in, go to different ones. Maybe so it's audio and video. So you might be talking about ultra short throw is a hot thing right now. TVs. And then maybe another one that might be interesting is like a buy, sell, trade. Right? You pop in there, you're like, hey, I got some stuff to sell. You know, this is the spot, right? So who knows? The idea is just to connect people.
Have you ever thought about making, like, put a guest speaker in one of the rooms, like have someone about loudspeakers like Andrew Jones, and then just pop in whoever wants to ask questions? Or is it just kind of a free for all, kind of chilling? Or
Well, yeah, you saw Andrew Jones. That was backstage. That
Oh,
wasn't
okay. I didn't
live.
realize
No,
that was
nobody got to
backstage.
see that. A lot of times, these manufacturers they show some stuff like that's coming down the pipeline that they don't want to show to everybody. Like, yeah, just
Right.
give us a sneak peek of something cool. Things like that.
How much
Yeah.
is the Joe
There
and
you
Tell
go.
fans only page though? That's what I want to know.
Joe and Tell
Only-
fans only
Yeah, how
fans
much
is
is that?
is,
Yeah.
is $20. Go to the avsummit.com,
Okay.
$20, and you'll have access to that VIP area.
What do you?
So
get?
that's what the price of the tickets are, $20. Is that
Right
an
now,
early
so there's early bird,
right?
early bird special, and also early bird for the companies that want to exhibit.
Harmon guys will jump on that.
Yeah.
So
I don't know any of them.
if any exhibitors, I mean, if any companies are watching right now, let's say Sound United or Clips or whatever, what's the process for them to get involved in this?
Yeah, if I could share my screen again, I'll kind of show you
Go
here.
for it.
Share.
Uh-oh, youth's not going to go to your OnlyFans page.
He's gonna
Come
go
on.
to Croson. So we like this guy Paul. We have a funny thing. He had a nip slip accident.
Oh,
So Vlad, I see you over here in the comments. By the way, he says I attended all the hi-fi summits and it was a fun experience. The best part was interacting with the manufacturers and other attendees. Yeah, thank you for saying that. So
so the
this
URL here is theavsummit.com or theavsummit.com, right?
correct. And so early bird tickets, I'll get into this binaural demos, virtual booths, and all this. But yeah, it's $25 normal and $20 if you sign up before October 1st. And if you're a company and you want to exhibit, then you go to exhibit with us. You fill out the form. Boom, 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 and then we'll give you a call. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Pretty simple. Yeah, we would love to get as many companies as possible. We're set up to
Very
handle
cool.
all of them.
So who do you have so far on the list, since it's only, a month away or so? Who do you have lined up?
Right now we're not announcing that yet. But believe me, we'll have all that information out, and we want to kind of just show it when it looks significant, right? Because if I'm picking up one here, one there, then the page is just looking like crazy. I don't know how else to explain it, but it looks better if it's all, at least you have, significant. But yeah, I mean, we have sponsorships. So companies who want to, get the platinum sponsorship, there's pricing, there's a price list that we send out. And yeah, the platinum one is taken. I didn't know who was going to get it, but some of these companies just like that immediately.
Well, everybody's desperate to get their products out, and with Cedia was a big letdown for a lot of manufacturers and us especially.
Yeah, I saw a video like of the
Empty.
showroom. Like,
Ghost Town.
Yeah, it was bad. It was
You're not
bad.
supposed to say bad
So
things.
think about it. These trade shows, the average company putting out a decent booth is probably spending 30 grand up to put a booth at Cedia, right, Don?
Yeah, they had people out in the street, the holler guy, holla, 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 trying to get people to come in.
Come on in.
Yeah, the Dave Chappelle holla guy. No, it was. I mean, it's expensive to go. I listen. CD has been a part of my life for many years, and I'm very sad in general for this. I mean, Gene, we had a full schedule.
Oh
we
yeah,
were all set up to go.
We had hotel rooms picked. We had the whole 9 yards. And then when I saw Yamaha pulling out and Sonos pulling out, Snap AV, it was a windfall in a matter of days.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, no, we're not going to this time. We're going to it's going to be a sausage fest and we're not going to have anything to do.
It would have been already, but
yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, there wouldn't, at least there's booth
guys in cargo shorts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But I did have Candy line up. She was very disappointed that I didn't show. So,
oh, we were talking about demos earlier, right?
Yeah.
So that's another thing. That's another thing is the demo rooms. I was saying how they sound pretty bad, right?
some of them, yeah.
There you go. You got to pick a purchase.
Some of them sound pretty bad. I mean, in these hi-fi shows, they always complain like, oh well, don't judge based on, well, here we go. First of all, the hi-fi guys always say, go listen to the speakers, right? If you want to buy something, go listen to them, right? Go to the store and listen to them. And it's like, is the store set up? Like, is that how it's going to sound at your house? I don't know. If it's in a hotel room, is that going to sound good? I don't know. They're always complaining that it doesn't, that maybe you shouldn't judge based on the hotel room. So it's a little confusing, right? Like, then what's the point of going? If it's not the way it's supposed to sound, then what's the point of going? Right? So maybe to see them and touch them.
Spare Change was there. He's like, well, I think the focal room's a little bright. I don't know.
It's a little bit bright.
A little bit bright. It's a little bright.
I don't know if I like the speaker.
I don't really. Let me get my drunk neighbor over there.
Hey, Gene, that's a good.
It's just a little bit too bright.
Yeah, it's tingling my ears a little bit. I don't know. That guy should have his own sex line. Love it.
Oh man.
Like,
How do you know he doesn't?
What are you wearing now?
Oh yeah.
Touching
We
me.
joke that he doesn't wear
Right.
pants on his videos.
Oh, dude.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Love that guy. It's my boy.
Yeah. So.
So, what do you think, Don?
Got my
Which Silver
channel
Surfer do you like the
processor,
best?
My AudioQuest cables.
First, I pulled him out of the package slowly. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
So what are you talking about with this demo thing? You're doing some
So
Binaural stuff.
demos. Yeah, we're having too much fun. The demos. People in the chat are laughing. So we're doing our job. As long as you're entertained. Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained?
We should do a dance off of your thing, like an AV guy
Don will
dance
win
off.
that.
Oh, I'll
Let's
kick
go.
that shit's ass.
He would.
Shit.
Did you
We'll
see him
see.
dancing in our JTR
You ever seen
video?
a 240
Yeah, I did a
pound guy
little.
do a windmill?
You got it. He was popping and locking, and I saw him. I saw you.
Oh yeah.
I saw you.
Don's rocking 418s in his house now. JTRs. 140
Is that right?
dB.
And 412s.
And so what? Before you had those, it didn't make you move, or what? It didn't make you tap your toes until you got those.
Well, Joe, it just kind of touched my soul. It made me tingle. I had to move.
Made
What
me
do they
feel
say,
kind of
pace?
special, like when I climbed the rope at gym class.
Pace, rhythm, and timing, or what? Right now, your video, you said these sound demos are dangerous, is what it said.
I think
something
Matt
that
said
I
that,
think
yeah.
they're
mean, he's
dangerous.
not
And I
wrong.
was laughing.
At my house, they are. They're dangerous.
I was-
as hell.
I was laughing because I'm like, oh man, they're dangerous. It's like not like misleading. Okay, maybe if they're done poorly and like you're not setting the correct expectations. Yeah, I think a sound demo could be misleading, but I don't know about dangerous. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Well, you have to say that sort of stuff on YouTube, huh?
We science the stuff out, but at the end of the day, if you're having a good time, doing what you're doing is giving people kind of a connection with the product that they can't get ordinarily, right? I mean, the real benefit of a trade show for the end user is to actually physically be there with the product, touch it, even if they're lucky, meet the designer. Obviously, you can't have a tactile experience with the product in a virtual show, but if you show people listening to it and you have a binaural representation, you get the spatiality of what the people are hearing in that room. And
Is that a word? Did you just make that shit up?
absolutely.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No,
I-
well,
what's-
it was interesting. You guys had somebody on. I don't know how to say his last name at all, but he was talking
I
about,
don't either.
how realistic.
Edgar or
Professor?
something. Yeah.
Yeah,
guy from Princeton?
Edgar,
Yeah.
the guy who
He's
makes
a
the
br-
box
Dude,
software, right?
I want to party with that guy.
Yeah.
So, so he was basically saying that the top of the list, at the top of the list was the spatial awareness. Like when it comes to realism, it's a spatial, and I've been playing around with these binaural mics, and I'm like, you know what? I can play them back on different headphones, and it's still an experience. I might agree with him on that, because before playing with all this stuff, I would have said maybe number one on my list when it comes to like reproduction is lack of distortion. Like once I hear distortion, I'm out.
Right.
And then maybe tonality, like a neutral response, like or a range. Does it have low frequencies?
Bandwidth. Yeah.
Yeah. Does it have all that?
Well,
And then
well,
how accurate it is and all that. But the spatial part was at the very top for his list, and I'm starting to kind of think that way too.
Yeah, in fact, we're going to wait till you see some of the broadcasts that are coming up, because I think a lot of companies, they focus mostly on amplitude response in a speaker, but they're missing the spatial aspects of a speaker, which is why I think when you do listening comparisons, mono tests are useful for amplitude response differences. It's easier to hear them when there's only one speaker playing, but you don't get the spatiality of having two speakers that have similar frequency response, similar time domain behavior at the listener in a stereo configuration. And Don, I've been messing with the FIR filters with the RBH system, and now I have both speakers perfectly phase aligned at my listening area, and it is like freaking magic. It is like having surround sound with just two speakers.
It's completely badass.
Yeah.
Well, don't you now identify as binaural, Gene?
I don't like to identify as either. I keep my options open.
Okay.
So all right, binaural. I got these mics from Sonic Presence, and I was very impressed with them. And so I've partnered with them. They're one of the sponsors, and they're going to provide binaural mics to all the exhibitors who want to do demos, right? And so I've done some of these demos on my channel where I'm doing maybe a demo of my surround sound Oro 3D system. I have like 13 speakers, right? And you shouldn't be able to hear overhead sounds. You wouldn't expect to, but you can, right? You have some nice headphones. You'll be able to hear those things happening. You talked about the barbershop binaural one, right? And here's the difference. You get Oro, and stuff is happening around you. Atmos stuff is happening in speakers around you, but they can never like walk up to you. They can't get close.
Yep.
That's not something that it can recreate.
That's
Binaural
the software
can.
that Edgar guy developed for two channels.
Yeah. Well, the amazing thing was he was talking about how I guess you could get that binaural experience with speakers, which is kind of cool.
Yep.
But of course, if you wear headphones, then you can get that experience.
Right.
So we're asking a lot of these companies to do some of these demos. We're going to send them the mics, and the thing is, they're going to be in the room that they have set up. So if it's not sounding good in their room, that's their fault. Like, that's their room. They have the time to put up treatment and do all the stuff, measure, and yeah, I think you're going to get a very realistic experience if somebody there can do a binaural recording, record the speakers, and if the attendees are listening back on headphones, I think you'll get a very good idea of relative differences. So we might ask them to play some of the same tracks. Like, you play this track, just make sure whatever you do, you can play any song you want. Copyright, don't worry about any of that stuff. But play these tracks so at least people can go from one to another room and kind of get some ideas of the sound differences. Or at least in their demo, right? So the room's going to play a role, always does. You can't undo that, But, it's also not realistic to get, unless you're, one of us, to have 20 different speakers that you can just switch out. That's probably not going to happen. So that is one of the things we're going to be doing that's very special, is providing a binaural experience to attendees. And I think I have a little demo here. I don't know if it'll work. Let me see. Let me try one. Audio. So I was just recording. So this is a live stream, actually. Let me switch to stereo. My video might get weird.
No, play it up, man. I got some brand new prototype studio monitors I'm listening to. I'm excited.
Well, you have to wear headphones. You have to, unless you have that thing that
Man.
that guy has,
Yeah,
that
that software
software.
that Edgar.
So
yeah.
Gene will
with,
hear
with
this.
the divider. Yeah.
You can put a divider if you like, room divider. All right, here we go. If you can put on headphones, you'll really get the feel for this. So anybody who's listening,
Make sure
whether
you're wearing
listening
headphones.
live or after
Hold
the
on,
fact,
hold on.
wear
Put
some headphones.
your headphones on now. Let me just preface this so anybody that watches later. And
I don't know if this is actually going to work. We're going to try.
I don't know if you could share audio because you're not the host.
Yeah?
But we'll try.
Let's see. Does it play any audio?
I just hear you talking.
Hold on, if we go back. If you share this part.
Oh, hold on. Let me try. Yeah, I don't hear it.
I hear
All
the
right.
left.
Let me try via Chrome. Or if I message this to you, do you think you could do it? Or let me try it with Chrome real quick, just for fun.
Okay. Otherwise, yeah, maybe send me the link, and I don't know if I can open that. And I think I could share audio if I do it.
Okay, here. Let's try this since you got that crazy internet speed, Gene.
Yeah.
Can I send it to you? What, in the private here?
Yeah. Or you know what? People could just put the link here. I'll share it, and people could just go with headphones and listen to it.
There you go. So let me private chat it to you because you're the only one who can do links. It'll delete it if I do it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Copy link address, comments.
Yeah,
All right. So if anybody wants to hear a binaural demo, put your headphones on, go to this link. Don't leave this live stream.
Yeah. So can you see if you can put that on, Gene?
Yeah, let me try. You're making me do something I've never done before on this program.
You know, forget it. Just click on that link, watch it.
Your kids are going to be superstars, man. They're
I
awesome.
don't know about that. So anyway,
you know
it's
what?
very
I'm
realistic.
going to put a link. I'm going to put this link in the description of the video.
Thank you.
And then people can demo at their own leisure. And
There
guys,
you go.
don't forget, check out Joe and Tell's YouTube channel. I'm sure you got a bunch of binaural demos there as well, right?
I do.
I saw one you did in your garage with your theater
Do it.
room.
Everybody's like, do it. You guys can watch afterwards.
Yeah, I agree.
What else? What else we got going on? Giveaways. People love the giveaways. So that is definitely something that we're gonna do again. Whoops. So one giveaway that I can tell you about right now, even though, well, I guess I can just tell you. So this is like an example of the giveaway. The first event that we did, we had about $50,000 worth of giveaways. So people really like that.
Wow.
And it's smart, you know. I think it's a good way for companies to promote what they're doing. So yeah, SVS they're known for their crazy giveaways, and they're going to be giving away this Prime Wireless 2.1 speaker system with
You're giving
all
away
the
a
stuff.
Tesla?
What, Tesla?
Damn.
Yeah, Youth Man, go close that deal with Tesla then.
Glad.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah, I'd go for that.
So giveaways. What else? What else do I have on my list of
Gene's
stuff?
old gear.
Gene's old gear, yeah.
Shh, that's a giveaway.
What else? What else do I want to show you guys? I guess maybe the last thing, and then we could just talk about whatever. Is I'll show you something kind of funny. Share screen. Let me share a window. I guess I can share this.
So
here.
what are the dates? I want to write this
Yeah.
down here. October.
Sure. October 25th through 29th.
29th.
5 days. It'll be during the week.
AV Summit. And I put a little note here if anybody fast forwards to the video.
All right.
And the links are in the description below if you guys want to register and get some tickets. I know a couple of people have already purchased tickets just seeing this. So how long does the early bird last? How long is the discount?
Till
for?
October. Till October, but it's $5 difference. Not a big deal.
Yeah. Well,
But if it is to you, then October 1st. Don't wait.
you got a
I want
week.
to check that out. I want to jump in there with you, man. That looks like fun.
We try to have a good time, and of course it would be great to see you guys there. I'm sure a lot of people would love to be backstage, and then you pop in and they see Don and Gene. You know,
Yeah,
we
send
have a
us
lot of the
send
same
us a
audience,
link.
right?
What's that?
We have a lot of the similar audience. They might pop in and be like, hey, you know,
yeah,
they'd love to
dude.
talk to
Yeah,
you. Right?
absolutely.
There's some cool people, man, out there. There really are. Got to know
That's
quite
it.
a few people through this. It's kind of intimate. It's fun. It really is.
Yeah, Youth Man said he has a blast. So during that dancing part where everybody's like kind of up dancing, Youth Man is just like chatting. He's chatting like
I'm
that.
gonna get
There we
used
go.
to
This is a challenge, Don.
Yeah.
You're being called out to be at,
He's
at,
like
at the
this.
Chana Mix.
Youth Man's like this.
Yeah, I'll dance or
This is
whatever.
dance right here.
Get your ass on that. Listen, if you lose though, you got to drink some whiskey.
Me?
No, Youth Man.
Oh, okay. Oh, Youth. I don't know if that's ever gonna happen. So let me share this last thing, and then we could just, talk about whatever. Maybe
Bullshit.
ask
Yeah, there's a
if
couple
there's some
questions
questions
here,
in the
Yep,
chat. We
yep.
can talk to them. But this is a funny thing. So Amir, this is the first event that I did. You can tell this post was June 20th, 2020, and the post was just basically like, hey, so what do you guys think of Joe and Tell's hi-fi show? This was, I think, was this before it happened? I think before it happened. But so Amir said, like, I've never interacted with him, right? I don't typically post in this forum just because it gets crazy. Like,
Yeah.
you don't know what you're getting into. So I kind of stay out of it unless somebody mentions me and I'm like, oh, I gotta go in here and kind of defend my, make sure that everything's clear and, people understand where I'm coming from and stuff like that. So anyway, he says, I'm not clear on charging so much for attendees though. If people don't show up, it'll be a serious issue. I would just charge the industry for exhibiting and then charge people either nothing or $5. I know I'm too cheap to pay to get in. I'm concerned about too little value you pay up front and take the risk, right? So he didn't want to pay like the 20, I think it was $25, $24 at the time, or maybe 30 something, I don't know. But he thought like $5, right? So, what can I say? What can I say? Everybody has their own sense of
brothers
value.
got to eat. I mean, it takes a lot of time and effort to do what you put together. That's not much money, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously, like really? You're in this hobby and you're worried about $5 or $20? Really? Seriously?
And plus, I think he's a millionaire, but whatever.
Whatever.
So anyway, I
messaged
messaged him. I messaged him. I was just like, "Hey, Amir." Of course, I'm not going to show my message to him or his message to me, but I basically said like, "Hey, I want to invite you to be part of this next one, and I know you don't want to pay more than $5, and it's $20 right now. So I'll invite you as like a VIP, And
what's his name? Amir?
know Amir?
No, there you go.
Amir. You know Amir.
Amir, who's Amir?
AV
from
Science.
Audio Science Review?
Oh, I know Amir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who he is.
Anyway, so I said, I'll just send you, I'll invite you. I want you to be there, right? And he messaged me back basically saying like, nah, I'd rather pay full price. I thought it was worth it.
That's
Like,
cool.
After seeing the first few, and then he said like, hey, do you want to post on the forum about it? I'm like, I don't really like this. Like even right now, I don't like self-promotion. I'd rather just hang out with the guys.
Dude. Whatever.
Just be normal, you know what I mean? I don't love just promote myself, right? But
Promote your stuff. I'll promote
I guess you have to, right? But he ended up posting, and he said, I really enjoyed their last one with a number of very technical and in-depth talks, which you can't get in person. In-person shows, I look forward to what they're going to have in this one. Suggest you support them by paying the nominal fee to get in and learn the inside story. So I thought that was really cool because, to me, he seems like somebody who's like tough to please, So the fact that he did that, I was very appreciative of that.
Super cool.
I thought it was super cool. Yeah. That's it. That's all
Cool.
I got. And
That's
so now
a lot,
I asked
man.
Gene even like, Gene, I'd rather you just ask me hard questions. Like try to grill me on here because I feel weird like trying to promote.
I mean, my hardest question to you is it's hard to say join my event when I don't know who's exhibiting, and you're only like less than a month away. So
Yeah.
you're kind of cutting it. Maybe having this all lined up in advance would be more beneficial.
You mean like you're saying,
Like you should have a
Who's
list
here?
already. Yeah.
Oh,
you should
yeah.
have a list already.
We should
Well,
get
let's just-
Bose involved.
You
I
should
called him.
actually.
I actually called
You
him. Why
should.
not? So here's
should.
I'll tell you the truth, Gene. You are absolutely correct. And luckily, because this is our 4th event, we have people that always sign up. Like they call me and they said like, "When's your next event?" Whenever it is, we're in. Right? So I kind of I can fill up that page. I can show you all these, SVS obviously, but some new ones that you might not expect. So I'm into ultra short throw projectors right now, and Hisense just came out with a new ultra short throw, and so we're talking to them. Hisense, that's a big company, right?
Yeah.
Of course, your buddy Phil Jones. I'm talking to Phil, like, "Hey, what's up, Phil? What's up with Sony?"
The legend Phil Jones is how you
the
say
legend
that.
Phil.
The legend.
What's up with Sony and BenQ, and some of these video companies are interesting. And I know, Gene, you have a lot of connects, so I would appreciate the help, because I haven't been in the game as long as you have. So obviously, you have some of these relationships. I have a
I'll
decent amount
definitely
of people I
bring
can
it
call, and but for the most part, I'm trying to reach out to as many people as possible, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what we can do.
Hit me up privately after this, and I'll see if I can get a couple other manufacturers to steer your way that you might not think of. There's a bunch of manufacturers that aren't just mainstream, that are making killer products, trying to get their name out there. They're only going through their dealers now, so this might be advantageous to them to do that, especially if it's fun.
So are you doing educational seminars with any of these companies, or is it just more of an informal kind of demos, talking, hanging out kind of thing?
I try to be a little bit picky. Unfortunately, I can be picky about who I bring in. Like, so there might be companies I don't invite, just because I don't think that my audience might be interested in some of the stuff that they're showing. I mean, it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough because I'm supposed to be more neutral about that. But if a company calls me up and they're selling some stuff that I don't think is like useful at all, I'm like, I don't know if I want to do it. I don't know if I want you to do a seminar, and like, I got to listen to this whole thing. I got to listen and say, yeah. I'm like, I don't believe anything you're saying, but yeah, let's go. I just can't roll like that. Wow. So that's my mistake. That's my issue. Maybe I'll have somebody else do it.
Well, I mean, the only other thing I would say is my views on doing demos on YouTube. I would at least preface it to say that this is not an actual representation of the product. Even if it's binaural and you're getting spatial cues, a pair of speakers in a room are not going to be able to recreate a binaural event correctly.
Let's argue, Gene.
It's not an argument. It's basic physics.
All right. Well, let me just tell you this.
You talk to any physicist, any scientist, whether it's Harmon, Dr. Sean Olive, Matthew Pose, who I wanted to have on here to debate you.
I don't want it to be overly technical. I
don't want to go there. All I'm saying is, I would pre-qualify saying this is not an actual product representation. But it gives you an idea of some spatiality of the demo that's being set up. It's cool. It's a fun exercise, but it's not an absolute biblical source truth of what.
Well, I don't think anybody would say that it is. I mean,
there are people that think so.
Well, yeah, the British guy. It's like, what's the dude that like does obscene things with his speakers? What's that guy? He goes like
the camera on his head,
gets naked with his speakers and stuff. I mean, that guy loves audio.
I forgot his name now. Oh, Z Reviews. I think.
Hey, you're gonna get me in trouble. I'm not saying anything about anybody.
Well, see, I will, because I don't give a shit. I'll just tell the truth.
Oh, there you go then.
That guy's a Fruit Loop. I mean,
nobody's gonna fuck with Don.
So to what you're saying, in Floyd Tool's book, I think we all respect Floyd Tool. He has a section there, 3.5.1.3. In the sound reproduction book, it says binaural record replay loudspeaker comparisons. And how can this is pretty long. Many situations do not lend themselves to real-time in situ listening tests. Binaural recordings reproduced at a later time provide an obvious alternative, but many people have a problem accepting the idea that headphone reproduction is a satisfactory substitute for natural listening. The author also had doubts in the beginning, but the appearance of the Etymotic Research ER1 insert earphones provided what seemed to be a solution to the largest problem, delivering a highly predictable signal to listeners' eardrums. And then it says Tool 1991 describes the problem in detail. I like how he refers to himself. Tool 1991 describes
Well,
the
I'm
problem in
gonna
detail.
have Olive on, Sean Olive in 2 days
Yeah.
or Thursday. We'll bring it up. We'll bring that
Yeah.
topic up. I'll ask him
So-
how
so-
accurate does he think a binaural recording reproduced in headphones is.
Okay, so he says Tool 1991 describes the problem in detail and shows results of early tests in which there was good agreement between real-time and binaural listening tests of some loudspeakers. So basically, they've done tests. So they use this binaural head, and they wanted to see if there's some correlation between the recording and people's preferences based on the recording versus them actually being there. And they're saying the correlation was crazy good. But of course, what he's talking about is it depends on the headphones, and I agree with that. If somebody's rocking some bass-heavy Beats headphones, everything is going to be bass-heavy, right? So that's why I do agree with what you're saying, Gene, in that it's not absolute. It's all relative. You can only compare within the tonality of your headphones. You know, if your headphones don't play anything below 100 hertz, it doesn't matter what my speakers do. You're not going to hear that, right? So of course, basically my point is, my job is to provide a very accurate recording, and it's up to you to play that back accurately. I can't control whatever. I'm not sending out headphones to everybody. I mean,
Yeah. Well,
maybe I can have correction filters for each headphone, but
So
Get some
that
decent headphones.
Crutchfield tried to do this with their speaker comparator, and it was a complete disaster.
no, that
And they
does.
spent millions of.
It all sounded the
PhDs.
same.
They all
That-
sounded the same. Every speaker sounded the same.
It didn't work. It didn't work. And I'll tell you the difference is this is a binaural recording. That's the difference. The main difference is theirs was in an anechoic
But it's
chamber
difficult
recording.
it's
tonality.
difficult to accurately capture a binaural recording with a pair of speakers to get a true representation of it.
I can record
Because the speakers they don't have an inaural crosstalk canceling circuit. So if you had like the Polk SDA, you'd have a better chance of more accurately recording that than you would out of a pair of conventional speakers playing a stereo signal.
Why?
I just told you why, because they have
No.
the inaural crosstalk cancellation.
Well, here's the thing. If you're wearing the binaural mics, right?
Yeah.
Then what you're hearing, that's what goes into your ears. That's
You're
what
you're getting spatiality, but you're not getting the proper amplitude response or the tonality of the speaker.
Why?
You're just not.
Because the freaking flux capacitor won't hold the
Hold on,
power.
hold on.
Yeah.
All right. Look, you want me to clear this shit
I
up?
don't- Basically, if you're near one speaker and you're wearing, if I record a binaural recording and you're near one speaker, you can tell that you're near that speaker.
Yeah,
you can tell that that's
you get the
closer to
spatial
you.
cues, but you're not getting the tonality of that speaker if you were actually sitting in that room.
Well, the
You're just not.
mics that I'm also using, I make sure that they are calibrated from 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz, and I compare them to my calibrated mic.
Understood?
So I make sure that that part is taken care of. The only variable that's really an issue is what are you listening on? At the end of the day, that's the biggest issue. Yeah. D-Cuz says, bruh, he has Gene to grill him, and here he comes. Yeah, this is how
All
it's
I'll
supposed to
tell
be.
you
This
is
the
I'll
fun part.
have you like quoting Tool. Okay, here's the problem. People quote books and they take things out of context sometimes. And in not one conversation I've ever had with Floyd or Sean Olive have they ever said, let's get binaural mics, record a speaker, and give people demos. Never. That's never come up.
Well, I'm reading
tomorrow.
an entire paragraph, so it's not. I'm not taking them out of context. It says, here's another part. 7.6.2: the effects of room on loudspeaker sound quality. Binaural recordings were made of each loudspeaker in each location in each room, and the tests were repeated, but this time with listeners hearing all of the sounds through calibrated headphones. All tests were double-blind. In each room, 3 loudspeakers were evaluated in 3 locations for each of the 3 programs. The whole process was repeated, resulting in 54 ratings for each 20 listeners. The result from a statistical perspective was that loudspeaker was highly significant, 0.05. All right, so less than 0.05.
That's
so basically,
not very good.
Well, what?
That's not a very good correlation.
Key
0.05.
less than or equal to 0.05. So it
Yeah.
says the result room was not a significant factor. Results of the live and binaural test were essentially the same. Then using the same binaural recordings that so faithfully replicated the results of the live listening test, another experiment was conducted. So anyway, I emailed him. So I emailed him, and I'm gonna ask him like what limitations. So I'm not worried that it's so inaccurate that we're totally misleading people. What my job is to set the proper expectations, which is you're not
Right.
going to hear the tonality is not going to be perfect because maybe your headphones are probably not perfect, right? So that's not going to be exact. But is it going to be better than listening to the speakers that I was demoing in that one room with that crazy bass suck out? Probably. And that's you being there. That's not how those speakers actually sounded or might sound in your room. So there's a big change. And I would say, yeah, we're streaming online, so we're going to lose some there, right? But I would say we're at 90%. Yeah.
There you
If
go.
you're trying to argue that a recording of a speaker sounds the same as a speaker, then you've already lost. Okay, good job.
So can I read a quote here from the Book of the Blind Listening Test, Tullian 7, Chapter 4. It says,
Tell me.
"Thy brothers who argue over binary should shut the hell up and just get along." So
Yeah.
I just want this to be a lesson. I'm going to put
Hey.
my hand and pray.
Here's the thing: I think the difference between us arguing, like Gene and I arguing about
Not
this stuff,
arguing. Not
is
arguing.
no, we're talking
We're not
about stuff, and I'll if I'm wrong, I'll quickly say, you know what, that thing that you were right. It's easy. I can just easily say you were right and I was wrong.
Either
It's not
way,
arguing for that,
it's a
so,
fun. Either way, it's going to be a fun experience.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I love it. I dig this. I mean, you guys aren't arguing. You're just, healthily debating the binary shit. So,
The pine.
That's-
That's a
my-
good way to put it.
that's my
That's why you're
hillbilly.
here.
You don't know
why I'm
arguing
here.
until you see me and Don talk politics.
I don't want to
he's
hear that.
Yeah, he's just an idiot. So
I reserve the right to
Yeah.
be wrong. There's
I'm with you,
Croson.
dude.
So he's the guy that you saw in the video right there that was dressed up.
Uh,
But you know what? Actually, I also talked to Paul
like
Barton.
Jim.
I called Paul Barton. I said, "Hey,
Oh, did you?
I want to do this thing. I know you work with Floyd Tool and you did binaural stuff. Is this ridiculous what I'm doing? Is this stupid?" And he's like, "No, just set the proper expectations."
yeah, I mean that's a good response.
So anyway, that's it.
No,
That's-
it's fun. I think we're on the verge of some really, industry changing audio technologies here very soon. With Edgar on the other night, I mean, the guy's a super genius. We've got some cool stuff going on. I love the binary recordings on headphones. They're just amazing. Like, it's really cool stuff. And
Yeah,
listen,
wish we had more of
I
that.
have to be technical every day, all day long with people. So I let my hair down. If I had hair, I let it down here and just have fun because I like you guys. It's the first time we've really met. I like
Mhm.
Joe, man. Joe's cool.
Thank you.
Youth man, he's super cool.
Youth Man says Audioholics and Joe and Tell should arm wrestle. I don't know. This dude looks pretty jacked.
Yeah,
He looks
dude.
pretty jacked.
Hey,
Don tried that with me a couple of years ago, and we both wound up
drunk,
with sprained
drunk
arms.
with my left arm. Yeah.
We both wound up with.
Hey, I'll
think
do it,
your
though.
arms- I think you're
I'll
still
do it.
paying for that.
I couldn't.
I can't
masturbate
wait till
for
the
6
day we're
months.
all in person and be able to hang out.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
should be.
Yeah.
It should be a good time.
like seriously.
Well,
I mean,
hopefully at a trade show.
listen, I think all of our goals are aligned in that we want to try to get the best information to people that follow and take what we say to heart. I mean, we joke around. We should joke around. It's fun, but at the end of the day, it's important that we're accurate and we just say this is our opinion. It's what we do. I get to hear speakers, the same exact speakers, in multiple different rooms, so
Yeah.
I see how they behave. And Gene, Gene's an electrical engineer and the audio godfather, so we kind of brought our two worlds together when we did a smart house. He's like, I never knew that,
Yeah.
and I'm like, well, I didn't know that. So I mean, it was really cool and a positive experience. And if we can't laugh at ourselves, we need to be in another industry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is
'Cause,
all
we're doing
fun,
audio.
man.
It is, dude. It
Exactly.
is. Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean,
It's all fun.
you
I just come on here to try to get Gene mad about something. That's my goal.
Gene, I get
Why
him
does
mad.
Last
everyone
time-
want to provoke? Why does everyone want to provoke
Uh-huh.
me? I just want peace.
They have to be Lucky
Because
Charms.
it's hilarious.
Get
So
it.
before
Here's
it
your
was before it was teasing about the mic, but he upgraded the mic,
Yeah, look at
so I
that.
can't
Check-
say anything
check
about
the
that.
mic. check the mic.
This is a kick-ass mic.
Dude,
Man.
I just got him a 4K camera. Like finally,
now I could talk like Shane.
get an iPhone 6.
And I don't like my speakers because they're a little bit bright.
A little bit bright.
Hey, Gene, what happened to that halo that you had back there? I remember one time you were doing some live stream and I said, "Hey, you look like..." I forgot what it was, but you started cracking up a little bit.
True.
He's like, I got this new webcam for $26. It's awesome. I'm like, Jesus, really?
Yeah, well, I'm
what's
not
up
using
with the tag though? Why don't you take off that tag?
I like this
You got
tag,
those-
man. You never know if I ever want to sell these. People want this. This is bling.
Mini pearl and shit. Dude.
That tag,
Yeah.
that tag
He didn't
says
know that.
authentic, genuine leather, right?
It does
Something like that.
Yeah. Why would I take that off? That's like when you buy a Cadillac. You know, you have the
Made
big
from
symbol on the
virgin
front.
French cows. And,
He keeps
you
it
know
on.
what I mean?
Hey, that's the cool thing, I guess. Like people wear the hat and they keep the sticker on, keep the tag on the shoe, keep the Focal tag on the
The
headphones.
sticker on
All
the
right.
hat.
I'm with it. You got
All
me.
I know
Yeah.
is I like to end my day listening to music every day, man. And there's some rad audio products that see that rad's a word. I'm an 80s kid. I'll explain that later, Joe. There's some really great, amazing audio products out right now. I mean, it's hard to go wrong, dude. Seriously.
Oh,
Yeah, for sure.
Youthman said you're going to return those headphones, huh? That's why
You know,
that's why you keep that on there.
I thought that was a possibility, but as I listen to these, I love them so much, and they're comfortable, and
There was dad's
Those
headphones.
are heavy, man. Those
You
are
gotta
heavy.
they are a bit
They're
heavy.
heavy. I had
My
those.
dad's headphones, dude. They're fucking Focals.
Focal.
You're
Oh.
Mr. Focal too.
I
You
love
gotta say
Focal,
it.
dude.
You gotta say it like fancy though.
They're a little
Focal.
bright. They're a little bright.
They're a
No,
little bit
dude,
bright.
I tell you, top to bottom, there's a lot of great speaker companies, but that company is first class. Everything they make is like a Rolex, dude. It's just beautiful.
Can you make them
Really?
answer the phone and be part of the AV summit?
Possibly.
What's that, Focal?
Yeah, let's make that.
Dude,
let's make that happen.
they're all about promoting the audio industry, and
I know.
they got some really. I tell you, their new 1000 series architectural audio will blow your mind, dude. The Utopias. I mean, you should check it out. It's
You
really,
installed the 1000 system with some JL audio subs, right?
We're getting ready to. So we're gonna do the JL audio flush mount. It's hard to get gear right now, man. That's the big kicker. You know, people try to get receivers from me. I'm like, dude, I don't know what to tell you. You just got to hold on. You know?
Yep.
You know, I heard those Coras at CES actually,
Yeah.
and I was.
What'd you think?
I'm like, man, those sounded pretty
Dude,
good. Those are
for
not
the money?
expensive.
For the
I mean,
money?
well, they're not expensive compared to other stuff. But I was like, that's kind of crazy.
Dude, you can't say one. Hugh Jazz says is Focal better than Totem. They're both great. They're both amazing speaker
Tell the
companies.
truth though, Don.
Mhm.
Tell the
I
truth.
always tell. See,
They're the
unlike
equal?
y'all fuckers, I always tell the truth. So,
What,
what do you want to know?
which one's better? Which one's a better brand to
Well,
you?
they're apples and oranges, dude. I mean,
Oh, totally different.
I mean, they make similar products. Listen, it's like when we had a JTR or RTJ there, listening
Mhm.
to the RBH system. Look, they were both equally incredible. They were just different, and it comes down to personal taste. It really does. They were both amazing speakers, and I'd be proud to own, either. And I got a hybrid of the two actually. So it's hard to say that, man, which is best and which is, there's just so many great brands right now. I mean,
But for real though, which one's better? No, just kidding. Which ones? All right, how
The
about
ones
this?
that you own are always the better ones.
Which ones are
nobody
not good?
puts baby in a corner, Joe.
Which ones are not good? See, it's tough to say those sort of
The ones that are not
Like-
good are
like
the ones we
Lipton.
don't own.
The ones that you don't own,
Right.
or the ones that are not at the AV summit.
I'm not a horn guy, so I mean, horns make me shrill.
He's just horny.
I'm kidding.
He's not a horn guy, but he's
Horny.
just horny.
Totally kidding. No, it's hard to go wrong, man. Look, I mean, KLH is back. KLH was like the cheap crap you bought at Sam's
Kmart.
Club, and now,
Yeah.
right, KLH. Now KLH is like making killer speakers again.
Yeah,
So,
I
mean,
told them when they were on. They were actually on at the last AV summit. I said I bought a receiver one time and they gave me a free KLH center channel. Like, it just came free.
Youth man's like Mr. YouTube. I was gonna get demonetized. Well, whatever, dude. Think I make any money from this? Come on. I'm just here for the popcorn. Right? I
Yeah,
mean,
man. Well, it's
So,
always a good time. We always have a good time. I try to have a good time on our podcast. So we do a podcast every Monday, daily hi-fi podcast, and our agenda is have fun. That's our agenda. So
And that's what the whole focus of the AV Summit is, basically to bring people together. And hopefully have some
fun.
manufacturers. Have fun.
but also
Listen to those demos.
I think you're gonna like them, and we want to really facilitate business, right? So we want to connect companies with whoever they need to connect to, dealers, manufacturers with dealers. We want to facilitate that and make it easy for that transaction to occur. Maybe reaching out to influencers, right? We want to make that easy. So I think we can mix fun. I mean, I don't know, Don, you've been in business for a long time. Gene, you make the most money when you have fun.
Yeah.
Right?
Dude,
When everybody's having a
what
good
to do.
time, drinking,
we have a
deals
great
are
time.
happening.
Look,
So that's what we're
I
trying to
think
make.
people just like, I don't necessarily think people care so much about polished as they do just keeping it real and making you laugh. You know what I mean? Like we were all sitting around with a group of audio guys. We'd be having a ball, man. We just talking, like it's cool,
At the
And
end
if
of
that's
the day,
secret,
it's who do you want to do business with too,
right?
right? Do I want to do business? Do I want to give this guy my business? I don't know.
Dude,
So-
I sell systems to billionaires, and I talk to them just like I talk to you now. And they appreciate it,
Well, you're installing you're installing a major $2 million
Will be.
theater in the largest house in America. So
Well, that's the plan, hopefully.
yeah.
So yeah, we did like crazy cool stuff. The integration world, a lot of people don't know about it. It has so many parallels with just the conventional audio world. I mean, a lot of times people are so amped up on following the Dolby chart for where your speakers are going to go. You don't have to be so strict on it.
Right.
You
The
really can't.
angles.
There's a ton. I mean, so anyways, I'm not gonna, I digress.
Youth
I'm just
Man is
glad to
saying
finally
that
meet you.
you should do a home theater tour of that setup.
Oh, I will, dude. I'm gonna have Youth Man come over. You're gonna have to waive your fee though, Youth Man. So
Oh,
you might
put him
pay
on the
me.
spot.
Yeah, we'll be
Love that
Gene's
guy.
gonna be mad because Gene, like, how come you don't do mine right now? You gotta
Gene's
do mine.
always
yeah,
mad.
man. He could always
What
come
the heck?
here. I invited him.
Dude, I'd love for him to come over. I mean,
Oh,
he's
man.
look, Youth Man is the bomb. If you're not infected by his energy, you're just, I don't want to know you. The guy's this cool. He's a nice, like, you want him to date your daughter. Well, not him, but somebody like him, with more money
Well, younger
I-
too.
and better looking. Just saying.
Yeah.
No, but
like Youth Man, you trust him with your,
dude,
if he has to
he's-
watch you, if you have to step out and he has to watch the kids, you
There
know
is-
that they're
there is
probably going to be
nothing-
playing and doing something.
there is nothing nefarious about that guy. There's nothing dishonest about that guy. At least I don't think. But I like watching his stuff, man. I mean, and he's learning. He's
Very
learning
true.
more and more. I mean, he's not out there saying, you got to buy this. He's just like, God, I love this. My pant leg was shaking. And, he's being real. And that's cool, dude.
He's always smiling. Yeah. So it's
Yeah, I'm
fun.
kind of
We have a cast of characters over there, and we don't agree on everything. There's a lot of stuff we disagree on, and our point is just you don't have to be. You can disagree. It's fine. Like we're disagreeing about the binaural stuff. It's fine. It's all good.
Well, I mean,
We'll figure
we're
it out.
disagreeing, but there's some unknowns there for sure. So,
Yeah.
I mean, as technology gets better, maybe we will get to the point where, Don was talking about augmented reality, and that's actually
Oh, my
becoming
God.
a reality now.
If you've never experienced really good augmented reality, it's a game. I'm sure you have, Joe, right? Have you put on the goggles and been in a room with like a full on, or have you?
You're talking about AR, not VR.
Augmented, not VR, augmented.
So like
reality.
I can see the room and I can see stuff in the room through the.
So I played this
have-
video game on augmented reality, and it mapped out the room I was in. Then the walls cracked, and he's like, it was like looking into outer space. Then he's like alien ant robot things came, and they were crawling up my leg. And they were crawling all around. It was crazy cool. That's the future.
You think that was more impressive than VR?
It was different. It was more impressive because it was in the room and there was scale. And we
Feels
pulled up
more
like a
lifelike.
space shuttle that was like 15 feet, and we could move it around in the room we're in. Now, if you can combine that with like binaural audio,
Sounds
so
like
we did a
LSD.
demo the other day.
Yeah.
What?
Well, it's very interesting that you talk about that because in an audio, we're always like talking about, oh, it sounds like they're in my room. Like, are you recreating the artist in your room or are you being transported to a different space? They're two different things. I believe that you can't really be transported to another space unless you're covering your ears and taking out your room, right?
You know, well,
It's
that- I
hard.
was
It's
told that
hard
years
without
ago.
taking out the room, but you can bring the presentation into your room. I think
When I
that's
first started doing theaters in the late 90s, a guy explained, he was a genius. He explained, he goes, the whole goal of this room is for the walls to disappear and for you to be on the deck of the pirate ship, for you to be in the airplane, for you to be in the jungle and the helicopters flying over you, hear bullets flying over you. And that really made an impact on me on how the room's supposed to disappear. This is the next progression of technology. If you could, so we did a demo a couple weeks ago where we did Call of Duty on a full tilt high-end surround system. And these guys were playing on this mega screen. And as they were moving around, that surround was tracking. And I've heard a lot of great demos. I'm like, man, that's crazy realistic. So you combine that with augmented reality. Who knows what we're going to have in the next 5 years with the progression of technology. And that's the exciting stuff for me, man.
So Don, we've got Dirk Diggler from Boogie Nights here giving a super chat out here.
There it is.
So the
Trying to
donkey,
decide between Anthem or Denon. Anthem supposedly has better
all right.
decks. Well, I mean, can you get the Anthem? Is the
I
question.
mean, is video important to you? I mean, what multiple question? Anthem's a great product. I mean, it's hard to go wrong with either one of those. You know, again, look, if you try to put us in a corner and have us pick a brand, we all personally have our favorite brands, but we're not going to come out and say it. But they're not favorite by a mile. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff out there. I mean, Denon is killing it right now. Sound United is putting more into their clients, the people that buy their products, educated. They have whole channels on how to operate their stuff and education on it. Phil Jones, God bless Jones. They're killing it.
Would you buy an AVR based on the DAC personally?
No, because what matters more is how it's implemented. Because you can get a DAC that has a signal to noise ratio of 132 dB, which you can't hear anyway. Yeah. But if they did a shitty implementation or they don't have good bass management, it's like, what's the point?
Like for me, I always say I'm looking more at what is the room correction? Like, is it Odyssey, Dirac, or something else?
They all
or
suck,
YPow or something like that.
Yeah.
YPow or something. Or I'm looking at that, and then for me, I like Oro 3D. So does it have the formats that you want?
So you like listening to like 2 discs on your Oro 3D up, or you just do up mixing?
Oh,
there's like 2 discs. Hater? No, I'm not a hater. There's 2 discs in surround sound. You could listen to Mondo Dio on music, which is like 80s, an 80s pop band that didn't make it. That's Oro 3D.
Come on, man.
I do like the up mixer. I've extensively listened to the up mixer and compared it to the Dolby up mixer, and I would not say it's superior by any means. If you have a really good processor where you could adjust the center spread and you could adjust the surround field, like the Storm Audio, for example, I get blown away by the Dolby up mixer. And if I didn't have Oro, I would never miss it, ever.
You have ceiling speakers, or do you have front
I have
heights?
6 ceiling speakers.
Okay, that's the problem though, because I've tried that experiment. I've tried Oro up mixing with ceiling mounted speakers. Right. So they're not in ceiling, but mounted on the ceiling, 4 of them. And then I tried, their recommendation is front and rear heights. So right above the speakers and then, right above the other ones. And it's just, you can't, Oro is way better when you have it set up like that. I would say
it's not most people can't do that shit though.
You're compromising.
Let's talk about reality. And if you've got a built dedicated room, that's great. But most people don't have that. Most people have a great room or a family room, or the walls are too thin. They can't do it.
Okay, I mean,
you're Don. So Don, you've installed hundreds of systems. How many have you installed that support an Oro 3D layout?
Well, a few of them in the lab, but they were dedicated rooms where we were able to do the multiple layers, and the clients were committed, and it cost a lot of money. Right. I don't try to do the Oral thing, Oral 3D. I don't try to do that.
I've got a handful of Oral 3D. I've got a handful of Oral 3D 2L recordings. I mean,
I don't even go crazy with some of the Atmos stuff in family rooms.
Put it this way: so Oral doesn't sound good unless you have like front heights or like ceiling speakers don't work with it.
That's not what they say. They actually say that they can be compatible. So I mean, they should be compatible.
30-degree. It has to be 30 degrees up from the front speakers. So 30 degrees up, and then they have it pointed a certain direction. And most ceiling speakers, you're not at 30. You're way above that.
Well, unless you buy ceiling speakers that have angled baffles. So
here's the deal, dude. You guys are going by books. I'm
45 degrees. 30 degrees above the front. Anyway, the point is, I've tried it both ways, and I wanted to see if the Oro setup would sound good with Dolby Atmos content, because that's the other thing, right? Like, will that work? And what I found was it's not as accurate, but I'd rather have the Oro setup and play Dolby Atmos native content than try to play an Oro upmixed Oro native using the Atmos layout. So the other one is more forgiving, basically.
So you're taking Atmos and you're upmixing it to Oro.
So
I could, yeah. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I prefer that.
98%
Now
of
you're
people
changing
can't tell the
the.
difference, dude.
Don's right about that, but now you're
It's
also
just splitting
changing.
hairs, dude.
You're
I mean,
changing the director's intent by remapping the sound field, right?
Yeah.
I mean, or Atmos is mixed in a specific way to have a certain number of objects in space. Now you're throwing it through an Oro up mixer and you're changing that effect.
Well,
So it's
let's
going
say
to be
example.
different.
I listened
It's
to The
gonna be
Matrix the
different.
other day, right? And I had the option of either listening to a 5.1 and I would upmix that to Oro, or just listen to the in Atmos, right? And I was fine with the 5.1 upmix to Oro. I'm very impressed with what it does. To me, it sounds very realistic.
But that
I
wasn't
know
even
there are a lot of
that movie wasn't recorded in Atmos. That's a 1992 movie or something.
99.
How many movies do you have recorded in native Oro content?
None.
Zero.
There's not. So
One.
that's the thing is
Zero.
I think that's the mistake that I think a lot of people make is they think like, oh, there's not content. It's the upmixer. To me, I'd rather have upmixed Oro content than sometimes native Dolby Atmos. I swear to you.
But it's content specific. Some doesn't. I've listened to it. Some
Yes.
sounds better on it. Some sounds like crap.
I think-
It really depends. I mean,
It's only a fair comparison if you listen to Oro with height speakers. If you try to listen to Oro with ceiling speakers, it doesn't sound good. Straight up. So you can't do that. I would say.
Don's looking. He's like, where can I put a height?
I mean, you guys have a million speakers you have access to, right? So it wouldn't be
yeah.
very hard to just put up some speakers and see if it sounds decent.
No, I've
know?
done that back at my old house. I put height speakers. I had the Yamaha Z11 before Oro came out, and I had heights. And I listened to some upmixing in Oro. I thought it was good, but I mean, I want to support the format that has content, and I want to have the best speaker placement for that. I'm not about adding more speakers. I'm about having the best possible speakers in a layout that supports the native content.
Yeah.
And I'm more about doing active speakers, FIR correction. I think that is not talked about enough in this industry. When you look at what we did in my room, Don, with the RBH system, with the Mariano processor, I mean, that is next level shit.
and you were too worried about. I got enough speakers here, and I'm like, dude.
Yeah, you don't
Like-
need it when you have a good setup.
I mean, I love you, Joe, and I'm sure you dig it, but dude, this people beat this dead horse on so much. If you got a good
Put it this way,
Atmos,
Anthony Grimani, who we have on regularly, that installs thousands of theaters, almost never sets up Oro. He even the first thing he said to me is, when I told him I got the Storm processor, I want to support Oro 3D, DTSX, and Atmos, he goes, don't waste your time with Oro. And this is the guy that's in the trenches that has installed more systems than all three of us combined. So
you could
I'm
listen.
speaking for my own system, right?
Yeah.
I'm not speaking for anybody else's system but my own.
Right,
But I had
right.
the option I moved the speakers. I could easily just move them back. You know, I can move them.
How big is your room? How big is your room, Joe?
20 by 20.
All right, that's a great size room.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a pretty big size theater room. If you have a full tilt theater room and you have the ability to do that, I would not knock anybody for doing that as long as you just keep it sane. Because I've done it. I just did a system for a guy that was just retarded, right?
Mhm.
But the amount of speakers we put in it. But for most people, they don't have that luxury. And
I'm sorry, that's funny.
but she tells me she doesn't do or I know. I was just here. I was trying to be nice and not say nothing about oral.
Oh my god.
But
Hey, it's all
telling
good.
you,
See,
you do it
now we're
Atmos
arguing,
layout.
Don.
throw the voice of God in, and dude, I'm not arguing. I'm just telling you from a
So
whole
I
shit
had-
ton of
What?
experience.
Hey, you can tell
More
me it's
than
straight
both you
garbage.
guys.
Hey, Don,
more.
it's all right. If you tell me it's hot garbage, then that's
It's
all
not
good.
hard garbage. I'm just saying you don't need to do that. If you can do it, cool. But you don't.
I
need
have
to do
no.
that.
I get paid zero
Because
if
listen,
somebody gets oral. I
people
get
depend
nothing.
on what you say, Joe, and they're like, "Oh my God, I can't do the voice of God and the height speakers. I'm not going to have the best sound." And
You want to hear something really? My experience was it's much easier to put height speakers in a normal setup, right? Nothing crazy. To
if you want to look at wires, if you want to look at wires,
yeah, I'm just saying, like, if you want to look at wires,
yeah, it's like most people don't do that shit. I mean, I like a room that's clean.
Well, that's what you do.
Well, that's what I do.
Yeah. So on the flip side, have you actually experienced a really good Atmos setup with proper speakers in the ceiling, proper bass management?
Yeah, I mean, look, I can do all that because my room is a dedicated room. I can put the speakers exactly where they need to be, right? So I know you said you don't like any room correction, but I use Dirac. I think it does a good job.
Did you change anything after you did the Dirac on your own? Because
I changed the target curve.
Did you? Okay.
I changed it to like something more similar to the Harman target curve. They call it the NAD target curve, but Paul Barton, they come in from the same school, so their curve looks pretty much the same. Similar, very similar. So I like what Dirac does. I think it makes it sound very cohesive.
Yeah, Dirac has
it's the best. It's the best of what's out there. But I've never done any automatic setup system that I haven't made major changes to, because I think most of them just rob the sound. I mean, they may get some things correct, phasing. They never write on distance ever, right? I mean, I've done systems calibrating myself and ran those softwares on them, and they're like, God, this is terrible. We just did that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, especially subs. It's difficult with subwoofers.
So Don, I can get down and do some manual calibration too. I know how to use like a real-time analyzer and look at the phase of each one, make sure their phase aligned. I can do some of that stuff too. And truthfully, my experience has been that Dirac can do a better job than I can even. Right, for the most part. I mean, they'll probably sound similar at the end, if I do my calibration, but it's going to take me way longer. I just put the mic and I press the button.
But that's cool, dude. I've just never experienced that. I mean, hopefully somebody will make one day.
We're going to set up Dirac at my place now that I've got everything situated. So we're going to compare it to my manual calibration and see. I'm hoping it could do better than me because I did a good job, but I'm always looking to improve. I never am satisfied with it being the end.
Now we all love Sound United and their products, right? I think we all recommend Denon and Marantz a lot of people
every day.
Right?
Yeah.
And we've had, we talked about Oro, and we're friends with all these guys, right? I've had Clark, or from
Jeff
Odyssey.
Clark from Odyssey.
Jeff Clark. Yeah, we've had him on. I talked to him for hours at a time. In my opinion, when I use Dirac versus Odyssey, I kind of feel like Odyssey does a good job of like level matching and everything sounds pretty good, but I hear separate speakers. All the speakers sound like accurate. I mean, tonally like okay, and all that. But when I do it with Dirac, it just sounds like I don't hear the speakers. They just sound all like one big speaker. Is how it sounds to me.
You mean it's more fluid?
Like cohesive. They sound cohesive.
Yeah.
Like the way that it blends everything is like, I don't know. That's awesome. I don't know what those guys over there are doing, but whatever. I like.
Yeah, we got off weight.
Hey, it's all right.
No, it's fun though, dude. I dig this. I mean, shit. I wish we're all hanging out, dude. I can do this every day.
Yeah, this is what we do.
I would give anything. Listen, if I felt like that, I could honestly install a product for one of my clients, hook up the mic, and take 5-10 minutes and do that, and it sounded its best. I would love that. The really real truth is it doesn't. Period.
Usually, yeah.
No, ever. It never does. It never sounds right.
Well, with the caveat, you've never set up a Dirac system.
But it gets, what's that?
Never set up a
we did a Dirac, not too long ago. So, but it doesn't sound, it does all the basic stuff, and it does a good job at that. We just have to make small calibrations. So I'm talking about something that just runs and you're good.
Have you guys played with Trinov? No? Yes.
Matthew Pose has set up several of those, and Don's working on a big setup that's using the Trinomial processor. So
Like,
yeah,
what does that do that's so crazy? Like, what does it do that's
it
like
does a lot of. I
the
mean,
thing?
Does
it
everything.
is.
What's the main?
It is the Mac Daddy processor.
You,
So if
you
you're
could
setting
actually
up,
you could actually make your own powered speakers through the Trinomial without an outboard processor, which is really crazy.
so you could do that with the Storm, but the Storm doesn't have FAR correction like the Trinomial does. The Trinomial has the way. So what Don's doing, I don't know if we could talk too much about this yet, but I'm just going to say
Not at all, actually.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Yeah. So I'm just kind of debating.
You could virtualize speakers with the Trinomial. So
that's what I heard. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you could set up 2 center channels at top and bottom of the screen and virtualize it and acoustically calibrate it so it sounds like it's coming from the center of the screen. You can't do that with any other processor, as far as I know. Not even the Storm.
I got to go back. That's too fast. What does it do?
Everything.
Virtualizes.
You could virtualize using different phase relationships between those 2 speakers to kind of make them sound like they're coming from a different location, like kind of in the middle between them.
That's crazy.
You could steer
you could do it with heights and all the channels.
I don't know a whole lot of Trinomial capability because I haven't tested it, but I've been reading about it and I've been hearing from what Matt told me. And it's, put it this way, that product has been out for what, 15 years? Yeah, 10 years. And it just keep iterating and putting better technology in it and just perfecting it. Like I remember years ago when I was at CEDIA, this is when the Trinomial first came out. They did a demo where they set up a system. I think it was 7.1 at the time or 9.1. They had you sit down. Then they flipped the room with their settings, with their DSP. And you literally had all the sounds coming from this side, from the front to the back. And the thing sounded amazing. Like they literally flipped the room for you.
Yeah. Meridian did that years ago, though. Meridian, when they were the king back. Yeah, Meridian could steer the sound around the room. My biggest concern with Trinomial was reliability because that's a huge issue. But from talking to a lot of industry people that I trust that are using it on a pretty regular basis, including Matt Pose and even Shane Lee, like Shane, I give you props.
I really like my Trinomial.
Yeah, the Trinomial is very. You guys are all peasants.
It just goes so good when you have your monster.
You're peasants. I don't want any pants on, and I have a Trinomial.
You have to have your Audio Quest Niagara.
They send you equipment because you're not Asian, Don. I know how that works.
There's a youth man is saying that you can. What is that?
Yeah, he's right.
Can't place your speaker in the ideal. Yeah. They can localize it.
It's crazy.
Multiple speakers. Yeah,
that's like you can do that with those upfiring Atmos speakers, Gene.
All right, I gotta go.
Pretty much the same thing, right?
Yeah.
You can't put ceiling speakers.
Bouncy house. We call that
bouncy
house.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
just before we go, I just want you to know I'm working on my new bass reference level through Audioholics. We're gonna call it the Donimus. Yeah. So youth man will probably like that.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, this has been great. Let's get together. Let's stream. Let's do.
Let's talk afterwards, Don. I wanna.
Okay.
Before we go.
Do it.
Don't hang up on me.
I'm home.
Yeah. So. Anything else you want to talk about the AV Summit that we didn't cover?
Yeah.
Go to the AV Summit, get a ticket. If you're a vendor or exhibitor, you want to be an exhibitor, then fill out that form. We're going to have a good time, just like we're doing right now. Except hopefully lots of money will be exchanging hands. The audio industry, they don't like people making money, but when I was growing up, it was cool to make money. It was cool to make money.
It's okay to make money, dude. You work hard.
Do it legitimately.
You work. It's okay.
Stealing. We're not doing anything illegal.
No, you're earning your money.
You're not making blue meth back there, are you?
No, none of that.
Blue.
So that's my thing. I would love for these companies to stick around, but they have to make money. That's the whole point.
We make money.
There's nothing wrong with it. Make a great product. Make a great product. Get it out to people. They're happy. Everybody's happy. Everybody's, it's all good. And that's what we're trying to do. That's all.
Yep. All right, guys. I think that's a wrap. Again, check out vavsummit.com. Get your early bird tickets while you can. And Joe will be posting updates on that site probably in the next week or two. You're going to have some updates in there, right?
Yes.
All right. Appreciate you, Joe, from coming on here. Don, always fun to have you here as well. Guys, don't forget about our Patreon channel at patreon.com/audioholics. We appreciate your support. You get direct access to us if you want to suggest video topics. And until next time, my friends, keep listening.
Please.